Okay, being an adoptee, I belong to a number of adoptee groups: transcontinental adoptee groups, transracial adoptee groups, older kids adoptee groups, a lot of ones that are where most of us are adopted from Korea. And this morning, there have been a lot of conversation about immigration because many of us who were adopted as babies, I was 12 already, so it doesn't apply to me. But many of us were adopted as babies. The parents didn't do all the paperwork correctly. So some of them have like dual citizenship, some of them don't have like American passports, like if they never traveled or things like that. And people have like actually gotten deported as adults to a country where they left when they were like a couple months old. So it's an issue in the adoption community, especially in the Korean adoption community. And there's a lot of them, a lot of us in Minnesota. So of course, there's been a lot more conversation on it than usual. And like with most minority groups, there are usually a faction that are MAGA and conservative because they got here when they were babies by white parents who are evangelicals, and they basically assimilated to that culture, right? So they're basically, they don't know that they're not white. I actually know a girl who was adopted into an Italian family and then married a Polish guy. So you see this little Korean person, and her entire name is like, I don't know, 180 letters because she's Italian and Polish, and she hyphenates it. And she'll say things like, "Oh, I was at this party and I swear to God, I was the only white person there." Anyway, I digressed. There was a post this morning by a girl who had actually been stopped by ICE at the airport. She was like degraded, and they literally yelled at her and stuff because she has a dual citizenship. So they detained her for a while and she ended up leaving, but it was obviously very traumatizing for her. So she was talking about it, and somebody I know who's a friend to me, and she basically was like, we're so sorry that we're going through this, and this is, none of us asked to be here. Like, we were basically adopted without consent because none of us could really say we don't want to go to America. I mean, most of us were babies, and even I was 12 already, but I really didn't know what was happening until it was happening. And for God's sake, they changed my name twice in 1 year, like in through the process, and nobody told me why until it was actually somebody was actually calling me by the different name, right? Imagine that. If you have a child that's 12, imagine doing that to your kid. Anyway, so obviously this is a topic that's very, very near and dear to me. I'm very sensitive with it. I'm very vulnerable with it. My adoption stuff is all fine. My immigration stuff is fine. I have all my documents and I'm a citizen and all that. But my heart breaks for my friends who are going through it right now. So I read my friend's post, and then I read the one where everybody's supporting her, saying, "Oh, we're so sorry you went through it," and all that. And one guy pops in and goes, "You're sick." Like, where the fuck did that come from? And how does that make sense in this context? And then, of course, it turns out he's an adoptee, an old one, adopted into an evangelical family, and everything is God and Jesus, and but also like deport illegals and rapists and gang members and all that kind of stuff, right? So I just wanted to be like, bro, can you see yourself? Do you see your face? So I wanted to say, if you're an adoptee who has a family like that, and you've been assimilating your whole life for the sake of survival because you didn't know that you had a choice, you do have a choice. And I also want to tell you that your vicinity to whiteness doesn't make you white. The mentality of many white people who adopt children of color are truly, especially the evangelicals, it's truly that white savior mentality. So they get confused when you're not grateful and don't fall in line with their line of thinking on anything. And I'm telling you that you have the right to speak up for yourself. And if what I'm saying to you makes you uncomfortable, if what I'm saying to you makes you feel like I'm attacking you somehow, I'm not. I'm just telling you how the world sees you versus how you see you. And the people who you think are there for you, that are your family. And God, I hope for your sake they truly are. But on the chances that you're not, I want you to know that you didn't do anything wrong. This was a survival sake. This was ingrained in us adoptees, how we need to be grateful. When in reality, we were taken away from the people who brought us into the world, which our DNA is connected with them forever. And for us to be plunked into another family with a new identity, with a whole new culture, and something that is not naturally yours, is something that seriously messes up your development. It derails it. And a lot of things that a typical person might learn and develop, you may not have had the chance to do it. And your DNA, how you are physically, biologically made, may have taken detours to survive, so that you may not have like developed those muscles. So it made me really sad and really angry, actually. And y'all know that I don't really hold my tongue very much. I'm trying to be softer. I'm trying to be coming from the space of humanity and empirical evidence, science, like stuff that's not just my opinion, but stuff that's actually true. So, yeah, the guy who came and was running his mouth, I had a couple things, fact-based things, and he went off, took off. I don't know where he went. They usually go slinking away, but yeah, be a little softer on yourself. And if you feel like you're alone, you're not. There's a whole community of us waiting for you to support you, and be safe out there.